Kenny's Yacht Maintenance with another educational video on painting. Grab your popcorn, grab your notepad, and watch and learn. This one is getting ready for painting. We had some fiberglass repairs. Lots of repairs to do. Stay tuned for all the developments. So this is how we gonna treat all the spider cracks. We use the Dremel tool and open up all the spider cracks, you know. As you could see. And then we're gonna mix up some system, mix with some filler, and we just fill in all the dugout spider cracks, and then that will sand off and get some primer on. We are using 120 grit sandpaper to get good adhesion. We always wash down with soap and water before applying primer or paint. Yacht Maintenance, welcome back. Today we're getting ready to put primer on this 19-footer. It's all ready for primer. So we're gonna be mixing some Alexseal 442 primer. That's the converter, and we're gonna use the reducer. So we're gonna be mixing one part of the base to one part of the converter. We're gonna let that sit for 15 minutes, do a conversion, and then we're gonna apply using a roller and a brush. So we got 1 to 1. We're gonna stir this and let it sit for 15 minutes. Do it induction chemical. Now we put in some reducer in there. And we're ready to put on some primer. Here we are wiping down the surface with surface prep to remove any contamination on the hull before applying the primer. We are applying the primer using a roller and in some areas a brush, and it is important to use a respirator when applying those products.
Is all primed.
It's important to note that we are in a well ventilated area, and I also have some fans and blowers going to move that air around. So yesterday we got 3 coats of primer on the Alexseal 442 primer, and today we're gonna be sanding. We're gonna be using our Festool sander to eliminate most of the dust, and we're gonna be sanding. We got some nice coverage here.
And you see still adding.
We are sanding the primer using 320 grit sandpaper, and as you could see, we're using the Festool, which suctions all the dust. 80 to 90% of all the dust is being suctioned into the Festool vacuum. Now the sanding is completed, and we are washing down the entire boat with soap and water before applying top coat. We are again wiping down the surface with surface prep before applying top coat. Here we are mixing the paint. The mixture is 2 parts of the base to 1 part of the brush converter, and then we're gonna add in some of the roll additive, and it's a 1% of whatever your volume is. stir and let that sit for 15 minutes before adding the reducer. After 15 minutes, it's time to add the reducer. Stir and it's time to paint. Always use a respirator. Here we are applying the paint just using a roller and just using a nice roll technique. Here we have the owner stopping by for an inspection of the project and to give approval of the color. Now that he has approved the color, we will proceed.
This is the first coat. Alexseal, and it's a customized color. Nice gloves for the first coat.
The next day, we continue sanding using 400 grit sandpaper.
We are using the Festool sander, so there's very little or no dust. We are washing down the entire boat before painting to remove all dust or contaminations. Soap and fresh water. Wiping down with surface prep again to remove any contamination. Here we are coating our belly with some milk, some good old milk. Always good to coat your stomach before painting. Here we are applying the second coat of Alexseal top coat, only using a roller. This is what the second coat looks like. Really glossy, settled very well, flash real nice, and as a painter I give it a 10 out of 10. I just love this job and love this paint. Here we are the next day, tipping off to apply the non-skid. We use fine line tip, and over the fine line we use the regular 2-inch. Here we are applying a nice thick coat of paint to the decks. While the paint is wet, I'm gonna be using a Wagner spray gun, just a regular Wagner spray gun with only the particles, the non-skid particles, and I'm just spraying the non-skid particles into the wet paint to give it the texture, the non-skid texture. So look closely, it's only the particles, the non-skid particles inside that gun, and you spray it in, and you could never put too much. Only a certain amount is gonna stick to that paint. The rest you could either just use your blower the neck after that and blow it off, or vacuum and vacuum what that doesn't stick. Five hours later, here we are blowing off all the excess non-skid off the decks of the boat so we could apply a sealer coat. Here we are applying a sealer coat. It's the same paint mixture over the non-skid, and that locks the non-skid particles in place and really seals it. And that is the second coat. After that, we got one more coat to put on, and that will be the finish coat.
Just finish the whole thing and then we'll put it on.
The very next day, while all the chemicals is still active in the paint is dry, I roll the finish coat over all the non-skid surface. Come on folks, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Thank you.
Kenny's Yacht Maintenance, welcome back. We are near the completion of a complete paint restoration of this 19-footer, and we used the Alexseal Premium top coat, and I just love this paint. We did the hull, the decks, all the non-skid, and let me just give you a complete view of what it looks like. The hull, Check out the decks, non-skid. Center console. This project was done using the Alexseal product. Alexseal. Kenny's Yacht Maintenance, we will continue to work smarter and not harder. So keep on keeping on.
From Massachusetts Institute of Technology, I am the proud product of Kenny's Yacht Maintenance, where we are in the business of working smarter, not harder. Please like, share, and subscribe.